Most people my age are chasing trends. I built a 6-figure business being a middleman. These 4 tips explain exactly how I did it. Most people think running a business this young means flashy wins, easy money or some secret shortcut. But the reality couldn't be further from that. Nothing about this is flashy. It's follow-ups, rejection and systems so boring that most people would quit. There's a difference between a real business and the fake ones that you see presented all over social media. And still, that boring work has built a business worth $3 million by 21. So here are 4 tips that will actually shift how you build yours. Tip number 1 is don't follow trends. Create your own lane. Every couple of years there's a new gold rush. First it was dropshipping, then SMMA. Now everyone's screaming about AI agencies and AI systems. And then what happens? People wait and then jump in when it's already overcrowded. They follow the wave instead building something that actually lasts. Something that won't die out after 6 months because every kid will start doing it. I tried all of those. I tried ecom, I tried SMA, I tried crypto, I tried the random side hustles from graphic design to NFTs. Every single time it was a hype cycle. Everyone talked about it, everyone copied each other, and 6 months later the opportunity was completely gone. Business got saturated and no one was able to make any money. And I felt that firsthand. I'd spent weeks and months learning some new opportunity, just watch it die before I even made back the money that I invested into the course or into the business itself. And that was the exact moment I realized if I keep following what everyone else is chasing, I will always be 3 steps behind. The only thing that stuck was building my own lane instead of chasing a trend. For me, that was starting a middleman business. It wasn't sexy at first, nobody was talking about it, nobody really even understood what I do. I would literally have to explain the model every single time. But while everyone else jumped from one shiny thing to the next, I was taking leverage. The longer I stayed consistent, the longer that leverage became. And today, while most people who chase those trends are starting over and over again, this boring little system has turned into a 7-figure business very quickly. The moment you stop chasing what's popular is the moment you start building something that actually lasts. Right now, everyone's screaming about AI agencies like it's holy grail. Same way they screamed about SMMA and dropshipping, same way they screamed about crypto a few years ago, meme coins 1 year ago. But here's the truth, the middleman business has been around forever. It's one of the oldest models in the world, still massively gate-kept and barely anyone talks about it still today. Yet behind the scenes it runs through a multi-billion-dollar industry. And while the hype cycles come and go, this boring business model keeps compounding every single day. And that's why if you stop following the noise and just focus on building your own lane, you'll look back in a few years and realize that you passed everyone still chasing the next shiny thing. The ugly truth is that none of this lasts unless you master one thing 99% of people will never do: discipline. Tip number 2, discipline always beats motivation. Here's where most people kill their own progress. They wait until they feel like working, they procrastinate, they scroll, they hype themselves up for the perfect moment, waiting for the perfect moment, and that moment never comes. Business doesn't care if you're tired, bored, or not in the mood, if you're only showing up when you feel like it. You have already lost. I've had days where I was running on 2 hours of sleep. I've had calls I couldn't reschedule with clients in other time zones when it was 3 AM for me and I needed to be on that call. Negotiations where my head was pounding, or nights where I just wanted to crash instead of sending another round of emails. But here's the difference. I showed up anyway. I sent the emails, I handled the calls, I closed the negotiations, and all these boring nights stacked up into something real. That compounding is what I built my agency. Not the days I felt amazing, but the days I actually didn't. Discipline isn't about being a robot. It's because showing up when it's uncomfortable, because that's what compounds into momentum. If you only work when you are motivated, you'll always be stuck in cycles, productive 1 week, distracted the next, starting over and over again. Motivation is a feeling, it comes and goes. Discipline is a choice. It's what carries you through the days when nothing feels like it's working, nothing feels exciting, when nobody is clapping for you, and when progress feels invisible. And that's exactly why discipline matters, because discipline compounds. One discipline day is just work, but stacked over months, it turns into reputation, relationships, and results that last for a lifetime. Which brings me to the next point: play long-term games. Tip number 3 is play long-term games. Most people jump into business thinking about one thing, which is quick cash. They're focused on the next flip, the next deal, the next little payout, the next little invoice, and because of that they burn bridges, they treat people like transactions, and they're constantly starting over and over again from zero. They can't keep these clients. What they miss is this: business is a compounding game. Every relationship, every reputation point, every collaboration stacks over time, and that's where the real results come from. I've seen it firsthand. Early on I treated campaigns as one done deals, but when I shifted into playing the long-term game, checking in with the brands even after the campaigns ended, building real trust with the creators, showing up consistently, that's when everything actually changed. One campaign turned into a retainer, one retainer turned into referrals, one brand manager I built a good relationship with later moved to a bigger company and brought me with themselves. That single relationship was worth more than 10 quick deals. And with some brands it goes even further. There's one I've been working with for over 3 years now. At this point I'm basically irreplaceable. Without me there's no influencer marketing inside their company. And that's the power of playing long-term games. The industry, and honestly the business in general, pays out exponentially when you stop chasing quick wins and start planting seeds. The harvest always comes later. One deal can feed you today, one relationship can feed you for life. That's why you play long-term games, because the compounding effect of trust and consistency will outpay any short-term hustle or one-off collaboration. And here's the problem: a lot of people don't even make it to long-term games, because the moment they touch their first bit of money, they blow it. They flex, they talk, they cut the flower before it even grows. And that brings me to the next point: stop talking. One of the big mistakes I see is this: the second people touch their first bit of money, they can shut up about it, they post it, they flex it, they tell everyone they know how much they make, and suddenly their identity is wrapped around looking successful instead of actually building something successful. It's like being a gardener. You plant a seed, it starts to grow, and the moment you see the first flower, you cut it off just to show the world how good of a gardener you are. And guess what? That flower never grows into anything bigger. I've seen this play out countless of times. A guy starts a business, finally cracks his first 5k month, and instead of doubling down, he celebrates like he won the game of life. He buys a watch, he posts screenshots, tells everyone how he's set for life and he's all good for life. 6 months later, he's broke again. Why? Because every dollar went into flexing, not building the actual business and reinvesting. He cut the flower the second it bloomed. Now compare that to the people who stay quiet. They don't announce every win. They don't tell anyone. They reinvest into the systems, into learning, into mentorships, into stacking relationships. And while the first guy is bragging and restarting over and over again, the quiet one is compounding. And that's why 5 years later, he will own the garden. The smartest move you can make when your money starts coming in is simple: shut up, reinvest, and keep building. Don't flex, don't make it your personality. Quietly stake cash, quietly level up, and let your results speak for yourself. The day you shut up is the day your money actually starts to grow. When you stay quiet and keep stacking, you realize something: nobody is coming to crown you. The only way forward is to put yourself in a role, which brings me to the next point: stop seeking permission. Here's another trap that keeps people stuck all the time: waiting for someone else to tell them they are ready to start, they are ready to start their own business or whatever. They wait for a sign, for approval, for some imaginary moment where everything will line up perfectly. And that moment never comes. No one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, now you can lead, now you can start. I've seen so many people with crazy potential stall because they were waiting for the right mentor, the right timing, the right amount of savings to invest in course. Meanwhile, others just decided to move to actually start today. They put themselves in the role before anyone else believed they were ready. And that's exactly why they got ahead. The truth is, you've got nothing to lose. The biggest risk is not betting on yourself early enough. When I started investing into systems, mentors, and learning, that's when my growth accelerated exponentially. Every dollar I didn't waste into flexing, I redirected into becoming better. And that's the only shortcut that actually exists. The day that you stop asking for permission is the day you will start leading. You've got nothing to lose by betting on yourself and everything to gain. So risk it, find Find mentors or people who can collapse years into months for you. That's not an expense, it's the highest ROI decision you can ever make. Alright, let's wrap this up. When you clicked on this video, you expected some random 21-year-old showing off quick wins, showing off their cars, their house, but what you got instead was the reality, the boring, unsexy, proven things that actually built a 7-figure business over the years. We talked about why you need to stop chasing the trends and build your own lane, why build discipline always beats motivation, why long-term games pay out more than quick cash, why you need to shut up and stack instead of flexing, and finally why you can't wait for permission, you have to bet on yourself. If you connect these together, it's simple. Stop following, stop waiting, and stop flexing. Start building, start compounding, and start leading. And if you got value from this, all I ask is to apply one of these tips this week. Don't just watch and nod and then go and watch another video. Test it, feel the difference, and let the results prove it to you. Because business isn't won in hype videos or big quotes. It's won in quiet consistency over and over until one day everyone else wonders how you did it and it feels like an overnight success. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Trotsky, Spider, yeah.